My name is Stephanie Richardson, and I am getting my master's degree in early childhood. And this week we are talking about phonemic awareness and phonological awareness. They both are to help kids understand words and to read and become fluent readers and to comprehend what they are reading. Phonemic awareness is the small unit of sound that we hear in words, like cat or tiger. They're the smallest unit that we hear, the smallest sound that we can hear. Phonological awareness is bigger chunks, like we chunk words into big chunks to understand them, to decode them. So if they have phonological awareness, they chunk it. They can look at a word and see that it's familiar, and they pretty much can figure out the rest of the word if they look and chunk at it. So like if they see air and then you add airplane or you add plane onto it, the kids pretty much can figure out what air is, but then they can sit there and use phonological awareness to kind of chunk the words into plane and see which works. And that's what phonological awareness does, and that's what it helps. It's to chunk words, it's to help decode. When it comes to teaching kids how to comprehend, this is where we sit there and we can read funny stories and tell them a story. And this is where the listening skills come in. You can sit there and tell them a poem, and it can be a very short poem. It could be Itsy Bitsy Spider Climbed Up the Water Spout. And then you can ask the kids simple questions of why did the spider climb up the water spout? Because he wanted, and or you could say the Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the water spout and down came the rain. So you could say, what's the spider climbing up? And that's where they come into saying a spout. Then you could ask what happened. And if they listened, and it says, well, the rain fell down and he fell off. And they're just simple. And they're just like three little simple questions that you could ask the kids to get them to actually listen and to comprehend what they're reading or to listening to. Some things to do to teach kids how to do letter recognition is do a bingo game and put ABCD on there, and then just have a game, and you call out the letters like A and have them mark the letter A, and when they get 4 letters in a row, then they get bingo and then they win. That's how you teach them to get kids to understand how word walls is another way to get kids to understand beginning sounds or to understand word families. More or less, it's beginning sounds. So like if you said, okay, we're going to give these 4 words and I want you to figure out where they go, and you just put them up on the word wall and you have A, B, C and all through the letter of the alphabet and put them on there. These words have, I need you to listen, they say cat, caught, cotton, coat. Where do they go? What letters are you hearing? That teaches them that they are listening for that sound of what the letter is, the beginning sound, and they all begin with the letter C. For phonological awareness, we teach kids how to rhyme, like map and nap. And a game that you could actually really do is tell them to say, okay, I'm going to put a board on there and use a white erase board and say, I'm going to write map on my board, and then I want you guys to change that first letter to another one. And then they write it nap, and then you underline what they've changed, and once they've changed that, then they figure out that they're changing that, and that makes phonological awareness. Listening is something that can easily be done, and we can do this like if you come back from lunch or whatever and just have a game to kind of get them settled back in from lunch and just say, okay, I need you to listen. We're going to do an Old MacDonald song, and we're going to do something to the effect of, it's not going to be the same as Old MacDonald song, but we're going to sing it. So Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On his farm he had a tiger, and the kids will say a tiger, and then they'll start kind of thinking and listening and speaking that. Phonemic and phonological awareness needs to be learned. It needs to be a skill that needs to be learned because it helps them with their comprehension and their fluency. As they get older and they start going into fluency, where they want to read faster, then we don't want them to sit there and decode every word. If they're decoding every word, they're not comprehending what they're supposed to, what the message is about or the passage. So if you decide to ask them a main idea and they're decoding, they're not going to pick up that main idea. So as things that we do, that's what we can do as a family, is just play some games, rhyming games, singing games. All of them helps with their comprehension, their listening, their speaking, and just have them put stuff in like a word sort. One game that can actually be done with a word sort is, what is your name? What's your name begin with? Like if it begins with a B, where does it belong? Does it belong in the B? Does it go on with a bottle? Does it, and put them into things like that. So as families, that's what we can do. And that's what we can do as a family. And I hope that's helpful. And thanks for listening, and goodbye.